This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Night Club podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss and celebrate all of the opening night theater around Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me today is auteur and playwright Skyler Cuthill. How are you doing, Skyler?
I am doing okay, Kevin. I say only okay because I do have some bad news.
Bad news?
Yes, it's me with bad news. Can you believe it? No, we all thought the era of Me Too was over, but it has risen from its grave and canceled Santa Claus. No, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is officially canceled. The director has a personal crisis and is unable to continue with the show. It's a real shame. There was not like a assistant director or executive producer to step in or whatever. The guy, like we talked about last week, he blocked the entire thing out of his head. He had no notes. He had everything in a trailer. He had all the set pieces, all the costume. So, you know, the team talked about it and went, we cannot do this without him, which I think is reasonable. It's a shame. It's a shame. This is the second time this year that I have had multiple opportunities for a season or whatever, and I've sat down and I have thought through them with my intellect and made what I believed was the right decision, and it has not come through, and then the things that I chose to bypass did come through. It keeps happening.
Oh, man.
But it's not the end of the world. It is a shame. People were learning their lines and stuff. You know, the venue was booked, you know, but money had changed hands. But these things happen. So
Well, what a great thing in the area here in Central Washington. We have so much theater, and I do think it's weird for a population of this size that we have so much theater that we can make those kind of choices, that we can be in multiple shows.
yeah, per capita, it's a very high theater community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and it allows this podcast to continue.
Yeah, it is silly.
If we didn't have all these opening nights, this would be a lot more boring.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Chelan County is like 90,000 people, and it's able to support 2 regional theaters, right? Leavenworth Summer Theater and Hot August Nights, as well as a ton of community theater and theater-adjacent organizations. So yeah, no, a lot going on. But it is a shame. But yes, anybody who was interested in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, better luck next year. It will not be happening this time.
Well, I heard it from Dylan Clare, who's also in the minutes with me.
Yes.
And he's kind of my foil in that one. I play the mayor, and he plays the young councilman who is just learning the ropes. So we've been doing that, and I'm only bringing up minutes because we are in rehearsal. And normally for these rehearsals, we are Monday through Thursday. And for this one, we're Monday through Friday. And I think it's because we're trying to get everything done before the holidays. So I'm not able to see a lot of the opening nights on opening night, which is kind of killing me. But I'm an actor, I'm a theater guy, so the show must go on.
Yeah, we had 4 opening nights in one weekend.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It's
Wednesday through Saturday, we had 4 opening nights. Totally bonkers.
Yeah. So let's dive into it. I think you went to the first opening night.
Well, I didn't go to Lion King.
No.
Lion King opened on Wednesday,
Okay.
and you're going to that.
I'm going, and we will talk about Lion King next week, and we apologize to all the Lion King members who might be turning up, waiting to hear about the show, but we will talk about it next week.
Yeah, the schedule was just too crowded. I will say that Rachel Powers, girl reporter, did report in from the trenches, and she loved it. She said she saw both casts. She said it was really great, that the production value is really high this year. They've improved costumes and props, and the sun is fixed. So she said it was dynamite. She strongly recommended it.
And there's a lot of kids in that.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah, 2 casts worth of kids.
But I think there's like 60 kids in each cast.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot.
There's a lot of kids.
But yeah, Rachel said it was wonderful. So
Okay.
strong recommendation.
Great.
And then I saw Clue, which was the Cascade High School opening night on Friday. And so I'm a Leavenworth guy, right? I came up through that program. And when I was young, it was Tracy Shaw. It was a really strong program. And then it was John Mauser, actually, right? And then it was Mandy Wickline. Then Mandy departed in 21. And now it's Mr. Allen, Dwayne Allen, who I know because he was the speech and debate coach when I was in high school. Yeah. So we had kind of a relationship there. And he's been running it for a while now, and it is reduced. I think there were budget problems. Every school has budget problems these days, right? They are in a new space. An ex of mine always said, you're old when you talk about the old high school. And they did. They demolished my old high school. They have a new one. It has no character. It has no soul. The old one was wacky, the layout was strange, but it had character. The new one, it looks like every other high school on the planet Earth, it looks like a hospital, that same kind of architecture.
You just sound like you're glory daying for the old days. I remember.
I had a bad time in school. I am not remembering when I scored the touchdown and made out with the cheerleader or whatever. That was not typical of my experience, let's be clear. But it was a cool school, but I understand there were problems. But I will say the new space, it's enclosed. Did you ever go to the old Cascade High School theater? It was open. Kevin was shaking his head at me. He said no.
No.
It was open. There was no door. It was just like a big open space, kind of like a common room in a really big house.
Okay.
And the stage, it was the lunchroom, was where you set out the chairs for the show.
Okay.
And then the stage was just there.
Kind of like the Icicle River Middle School.
Yeah, except that there was no wall separating the hallway from that area. So it was very goofy. We'd be rehearsing the shows when I was in school, and like the football kids would be walking by, and they're just coming in from practice. So they're all, "Yeah, man, that was great," and we'd be trying to run lines or whatever. We just have to stop. Like when an airplane flies too close overhead, and you just have to stop talking, right? Or a bus goes by.
So that was the old high school, and I don't really remember that one.
Yeah, I remember it well, but no. So the new one. There are new problems or whatever, but it is enclosed at least. There's a door.
Yeah.
So that's a huge improvement. No, Clue was fun. I like Clue. We all like Clue, right? The film and whatnot. It was really short. They didn't do the alternate endings.
Oh.
I've never seen that. That's kind of like a Clue signature thing.
Well, maybe they do alternate endings on different performances.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
It started at 7. I was walking out of the theater at like 8:26.
Okay.
Including intermission.
Oh.
Yeah, it blazed.
Well, that kind of makes up time from Quincy, which was quite a long show for a high school show. That was a good 2.5 hours.
Yeah, including intermission, that was like 2:45.
Yeah.
No, Clue is a great show. It's a kinetic show. I will say I don't really know why they picked it. Often when you're like a high school theater coach or whatever, you know almost exactly who you're going to have, right? You know who's a freshman and who's a senior. And generally speaking, I think you pick Clue when you have a really strong boy.
Yeah.
Because Cascade did Clue in 2019, and that was Tegan Matthews' senior year. Tegan was really strong. He was the leading man there for a while. And then Wenatchee High School did Clue in 23 when they had Gabe Kimmel, who was really, you remember Gabe?
Yeah, of course.
Really strong. Brother of Abby Kimmel, right, who just graduated as well. And not only did they not have a really strong boy, they didn't have a boy.
Oh, it was all women playing?
It was almost entirely girls.
Gotcha.
When the stage crew came out at the end, there were 22 people on stage. I counted 22 people. There were 2 boys. It was 10% male, the show.
I think most all of the school programs have problems getting boys into the cast.
No, I mean, we've known this for a long time. Yeah. It didn't used to be like this, and it's been changing, but this was like the most severe example I've ever seen. Only Mr. Green and Professor Plum were actually men.
Okay.
Everybody else, including Wadsworth. Wadsworth did a good job. She was good. I was just like, why do it? Because there are a lot of shows that are more female heavy, right? Little Women has like 6 women to like 3 men, 7 women. So I was a little bit perplexed. But I love Clue. The kids did a good job. And it was surprisingly well sold also. There were a lot of people. Yeah, I was very pleased.
Okay.
Get the program going again.
Yeah. I know that Cascade School District, they've had problems. They were talking about defunding all of the arts programs, music and theater altogether. Amy Edwards has been part of the people, and she might be running up the program to raise funds to save the music and arts programs up there.
Yeah, 2 years ago, she did like an emergency fundraiser to make sure that choir didn't get cut. And I know we're living in bad times. A lot of stuff is getting cut, but lots of times in high school when something gets cut, it's something kind of goofy. But choir is really basic. Choir is really, I mean, got Aristotle, how you have to develop in every possible way, not just math, but also wrestling, not just wrestling, but also music. And choir is the most basic form of music, right? This is what our cavemen forefathers were doing. They were singing.
It is, but they've been cutting music programs across the country. As we move to standardized testing and things like that, there's no reason to fund those programs. And if there's budget cuts, it's been happening a lot, not just in this area, but all over the state. I'm assuming all over the country.
No, I know. And we're going to talk about Moses Lake later. I remember reading in the news that Moses Lake was having insanely awful budget problems.
Yes.
But yeah, Cascade had some really serious budget problems. So Amy Edwards was a hero and raised a lot of money to keep the choir program going there. And the Icicle Center for the Arts, the ICCA, is a very big part of keeping the choir program going there. It's just, I don't know, it's tough times when, because, we pay property taxes. That's the concept of like funding the schools. And then like we have to give even more. We have to do private organizing just to keep the basic simple stuff going.
A lot of the funding for schools come from the number of students that they've got. And I know that the demographics for Leavenworth has been changing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of young families in Leavenworth.
Yeah. It's when I was growing up at Leavenworth, it was mostly families. There were some second homes and retirees, but not too many. And now it's all West Siders, it's all investment properties. It's a real sadness.
Yeah. We'd mentioned Wahluke High School, and they had just started up they had people from the Tri-Cities came up to Mattawa and started up the theater. We weren't able to see it, but they did the importance of being earnest. Kind of would have loved to have seen. I think Wenatchee High School's doing that this spring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were just talking about why hasn't this shown up more often?
Yes.
Oh, fun.
There was something that sparked in me and says, I've heard of this.
Okay.
So I could be wrong. We might cut this section, but I'm almost certain that Paul said they're doing the importance of being earnest.
Oh, great. That's a great pick.
And but what I heard is that they're planning on starting up theater this year, and then they will build a choir program because Wahluke High School does not have a choir.
Oh, so they're getting bigger while we're getting smaller.
They're getting bigger, and I think it's people are starting to come in from the outside. I'm only saying that just because anybody who's listening to this podcast is an art supporter, almost by definition, because you're listening to this podcast. So it is important that we go out and support these programs, the choir programs, and especially the theater.
Yeah. I think Amy Edwards is still fundraising. And again, the ICCA does a lot to keep the choir program going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to see Cascade. It was fun. It blazed without doing the alternate endings. It just like
fast.
bam, 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 bam. I kind of miss the alternate endings because, again, it's such a signature Clue thing.
Yeah.
But no, I like a short show. Anything over like 2 hours, now you have to earn it.
Yeah.
And if you're not Stephen Sondheim or whatever, if you're not transmitting some basic truth about life, then I think that's Da Vinci, right? The engineer knows he's done not when there's anything more to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. Right. So
Nice.
What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah.
What are we driving at? And if it's not, supporting the point, then get rid of it, right? Make another show later, I'm for stuff that's directed rather than just wandering around. So yeah, Clue without the alternate endings, it is really directed. It just flies, which I thought was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our next show. Do you want to talk about Wenatchee or Eastmont? They open the same night and they've got the same footprint in the calendar.
Well, we were just talking about Wenatchee,
Yes.
right? So I say we talk about Wenatchee. Wenatchee did Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Great classic. I don't know if I've seen a high school production of Little Shop of Horrors before.
Really?
But MTW did it in 2018.
And we sat behind Colleen and Carol Bowen, and they were talking about when Music Theater did it in 91.
Yeehaw!
Now, they've done it before, and it honestly, I love this show.
It's great.
Yeah, last time we did it, I was able to, lucky enough to get the part of the plant. I sang the plants and was basically off stage reading the script with a microphone. It was kind of awesome.
Yeah, in your sweatpants.
No, I dressed up because I had to go out for a curtain call at the end. So
okay,
yeah.
While everybody else is killing themselves on stage,
yeah.
you are okay. You got your water, you got some chips.
Yeah, the puppeteer who was actually in the plant, he was killing himself.
Well, that was Johnny Shipman, right? Yes. No, I remember because I saw that show.
He was just a ball of sweat at the end.
Yeah, he popped out of it, and he was like he had been in the box in a southern prison or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool Hand Luke stuff, right? He was really perishing in there.
So one thing that, and I will get back talking about Wenatchee, one thing Colleen had said was when they did it in 91, the guy who sang the plant also played the dentist.
Oh, Orrin. Really?
Yeah.
Normally, I know that Orrin plays all of the ensemble. He's all of the salesman at the end, and
Yes.
he's the guy that buys the roses at the start.
But I was trying to think, does the plant say anything while Orrin I don't think
No.
he does. And so basically, he could be dressed up like the dentist while he's doing the stuff backstage, step out and be a different character.
Wow. Because that's part of the draw for a community theater. That little shop can be done with like 8 people, but actually it could be done with like 7 people.
Yes.
Wow. But then if you're a high school, the incentive runs the other way. You want to jam as many people on stage as possible because
Yes.
that's the idea, getting kids involved in the arts, right?
Well,
and so
and-
they had a very novel way of addressing that.
Yes. So normally we've got a trio, the Urchins, who are basically the Wonderettes.
Yes.
And the Urchins are Ronette, Chiffon, and Crystal. And they tripled the number of Urchins. So they had 9 Urchins who sang all of the interstitial music and a couple of the big numbers.
Yeah, they were in like nodes. They were in like urchin nodes, right? You could see like in the formations, right? The Ronettes were together, the Crystals were together.
And the Chiffons.
Yeah. So in addition to all of the roles that Orin would normally play on his own, you had all that ensemble.
Yeah.
So they actually had quite a few kids up there.
But then they also had another 9 or 10 kids that were truly ensemble that would play the extra characters.
Yeah.
The reporters and the
Bums.
Yeah, and Miss Luce and the extra people.
Yeah.
But I have to call out the ensemble in this cast. Those 9 urchins were fantastic.
Yeah, and Emma Heminger. She said issue. Because
That's
she had a
right.
British accent. I was like, oh, she did it. She said issue. Wonderful. Good job.
Yeah, no, this was, we're going to get to the leads in this show, but I think the ensemble was fantastic. I don't know that you could do better with those urchins than what they had. They had all of honestly, it was the same time period as the Wonderettes. They had the hand motions, the choreography, and really just backed up. They were doing the popping out of the windows. It was a lot of fun for them.
Classic musical theater stuff.
It was really good.
And yeah, and the leads were our boy, Kay Devereaux.
He is a senior finally.
I always feel so old because, when you're growing up, it's so embarrassing. The old people always say, oh, you've grown so much. But I was in the Addams Family with Kate in 2019, and he was like 3 feet tall. He was like nothing. He was tiny, tiny, tiny. He fit under the table, because he was Pugsley,
Yeah.
right? And Kate is very tall now, and God bless him. He has got the voice. He's got that very specific, like very cutting musical theater, very bright voice. God bless him. He just sang out. He was very sharp. You could see that he's like the musical theater kid.
Yeah.
Everything was so polished and well drilled with him.
That's right. Yeah. When you said everything was really sharp, it was not pitchy.
No, it was sharp. It was like all of his dancing. It was very sharp.
Yeah.
Right. You could see like his feet moving. It was wonderful.
And one of the things, because I've kind of grown up with him, he was doing short shakes when he was very young.
Yes.
And his voice is a lot deeper than it's been. He's been portrayed, he's been a tenor, and now he's much more baritone, and he really pulled off the singing well. His comic timing was spot on. I think he really has Seymour down.
Yes. Seymour's a great role. So Kate is Seymour.
Yes.
Seymour's a wonderful role. Seymour's like 70% of the show, right? He's on stage all the time. And Kate executed it beautifully. Kate was Willy Wonka last year. So
Yes.
Kate is kind of Wenatchee's leading man now, and he's doing a great job. He's
Fantastic.
a senior, though, so we're going to lose him.
Yeah,
What a
sad about
sadness.
that.
Wenatchee lost some important people last year. They lost Maya Scanlon, Abby Kimmel, and Emma Banker all graduated.
Yeah.
So God bless him. Kate has stepped in, filled the roles, and Iris Jaffe was the female lead.
Who was fantastic. I love this show, if I haven't said that already.
Yes.
I love this show.
Yeah.
And the character of Audrey, I think it's unique in music theater because it is such a sad, almost pathetic character. The fact that she feels so worthless. And so she sings these songs, and every time I hear Somewhere That's Green, I was tearing up as Iris was singing it, because I know this show, I know who she's going to become, and this hopeful, I want to go somewhere, and she never will. She's never getting out of Skid Row.
Well, she kind of does. No, and I'll say as an adult now that has not been super successful in life, the joke of Somewhere That's Green is that like it's a pathetic dream. Right. That, like that's the kind of stuff you made fun of back in the day. Or tract housing, these kind of dummy appliances, plastic on the couch. And now that I'm 37 and living with my mom, I'm like, wow, These dreams are not so pathetic anymore, are they?
No.
But they were written to be jokey.
It was written to be jokey.
Yeah, but it was written in the 80s.
Well, I remember when I saw the movie and she's talking about a fence of real chain link.
Yeah.
Right? And as a kid, you're like, okay, that's really funny.
Yeah.
That she think, but
that's the dream.
As an adult going back, realizing, no, that's what she wants. She wants to get out of this pathetic hovel that she's living in. And it's obvious that she puts a lot of time into her appearance. She wants to look good, and she's trying to maintain a certain sense of dignity in just a miserable place.
It is. It's a very clever and very funny show, and it's a very mean show,
Yes.
right? So I think it was written to be pathetic and jokey.
Oh, yeah.
But the way that the housing situation in this country has developed, it's like, oh, yeah, that is like an aspiration now.
Yeah.
It wasn't in 85 or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like jokey, like whatever.
Yeah.
But now in 2025, it's like, wow, I would love to have a chain link fence. That would be great. That would be a huge improvement in my life.
And a 12-inch TV.
Big, enormous screen.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the only thing that's improved.
That's right.
Right. The TV technology is dramatically advanced, but everything else has gotten worse. No, it was a great show.
And I kind of jumped off of Iris Jaffe because I didn't get a chance to say how fantastic her voice was. When she hit somewhere that's green, it did make me tear up. And her comic timing, especially at the end of the show, as she is dying and being fed to the plant, which is always
spoiler.
Yeah,
the show is 40 years old. Come on.
Yeah, you by this point, well, that's different from the movie.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And so in the movie, of course, she doesn't die and they kill the plant. But if you've ever seen the play or the alternate ending of the movie,
I really like Mean Green Mother from Outer Space. Yeah. The song they added for it. It's a lot of fun. It's the plant song. And the puppet is so beautiful in the film, right? It was Jim Henson and all that.
Yeah.
It looks great. But Finale Ultimo is one of my favorite songs ever. The urchins coming out.
Yeah.
Consequent to the events you have just witnessed. It's so funny. So I do think I prefer the original ending to Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, even though that is a great song.
It kind of, I'm going to tie this back to a couple weeks ago with Rocky Horror Picture Show. It has the same kind of Uber line where they're calling back to very old movies.
Because it is.
It's an old science fiction movie.
Yeah.
And so the end of that kind of feels a little like superheroes.
Yeah, it is. It's meant to be, you called Rocky Horror nutty.
Yeah.
Right. It's nutty.
Yeah.
Right. It's great. It's wonderful American musical theater. It's very, very clever. It's very, very catchy. And it is wacky. Right. If you're watching it for the first time, you genuinely don't know what's going to happen next. It's not predictable at all. So I also love Little Shop of Horrors. One day I'll get to be the dentist.
One of these days.
One of these days. It'll come up again. And the nice thing about that show also is I feel like I'm aging out of the dentist, but once I age out of the dentist, I'll age into Mushnik.
Oh.
Mushnik and Son. Wonderful song.
That's a good song. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. It's wonderful.
It's very, very Jewish. Can you do that Jewish Mushnik and Son thing?
I was born for this.
Okay.
Should I do the Jewish voice?
No. One thing I did want to point out, at the centerpiece of every Little Shop of Horrors is the plant.
Yes.
And whenever you talk to somebody who's doing a Little Shop of Horrors, you will generally ask, where did you get the plant?
Yeah, because they rent them out.
Generally, you can build them yourself, but they will always look horrible. I'm just saying, you've got to have someone who really knows what they're doing to get a good plant, because you need to build this puppet that people can crawl into and hopefully crawl through.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you have to build multiple plants, and they all need to have a theme and look right and be able to move. And so I did talk to Paul, and this plant, they got all of the plants together in addition to the goofiest flower costumes at the very end.
I love the flower costumes. I thought they were really funny.
I felt so bad for the four leads, and especially Iris, who's a beautiful girl who had to take her bows wearing that horrible flower costume.
Well, I felt bad because Cade has been working so hard the entire show, and then he has a final full costume change.
Yes.
So he can come out and sing the one line in Finale Ultimo.
Yeah. But apparently they had to get a sponsor who paid for, who donated so that they could get it. It was $6,000 just for the plant. Wow. The different plans, just to give everybody an idea why the tickets are expensive. The costs for putting these shows on are very expensive.
And that's not even the licensing. That's just the plant.
No.
Yeehaw!
Yeah. No, licensing's generally about 15% of a full house for all of it.
Okay.
It's 15% of a full house for all of the tickets.
Plus $6,000 just for the plant. And then the normal costs of the technical stuff and the production, the set construction,
That's
yada, yada, yada.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive to do. Okay.
But yeah, it was a great show. We loved it.
We loved it. Let's move on to the Eastmont High School show, Too Many Detectives at the Murder Mansion.
You know, you could reverse that and it would still make sense.
Too many murder mansions at the
Too many murders at the detective mansion.
Oh, here you go.
Because there's like 12 detectives in there. You could very reasonably call it the detective mansion.
You could.
And there are a lot of murders there. So
that's right.
It makes perfect sense both ways.
So this one, would we call it camp? Would we call this a farce?
Yeah, it's satirical.
Yes.
It's very similar to Humans: A Brief Primer.
Explain.
Because it makes a lot of fun of comic books, and it makes the ensemble are all girls who are obsessed with murder podcasts.
Oh,
so
man.
my like two
You're
subjects.
Right.
Yeah, in Act 2 of my show, there are like 3 subjects about human culture that we want to talk about. One of them is comic books, another is murder podcasts. No, so I was feeling attacked when all the girls were like, "We love murder, hooray!" It's an obvious joke. It is a distressing change in society because women were not traditionally all consuming this enormous amount of content about women being tortured to death by men. This is like a new thing, right? But it's universal. Everybody can acknowledge it. Everybody can observe it, right? Yeah. So yeah, somebody else thought this is funny. God bless him, and he wrote a show about it.
So yeah, it's a funny show and super current. Most of this it could not have been done 10 years ago. It's got to be a current show.
Yeah. So the premise, everybody knows Little Shop of Horrors, but the premise is that a wealthy woman has gathered together a lot of detectives at her exhibit of murder, her museum of murder, and there's an audience in attendance who are all girls who are obsessed with true crime podcasts. And then the hostess, she gets murdered, and now the 12 detectives that have been summoned there, who are all like popularly known detectives, it's Sherlock Holmes, it's Batman, it's Mrs. Marple, it's Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Crew. Right. They all are now vying to solve the case, and then some actual police detectives get involved. And meanwhile, the girls who love true crime podcasts have all decided they're going to solve the crime as well. So it's 2 hours of people getting murdered and everybody going, "Oh, a new one. Yes. Hooray, a new murder." And it's very funny.
It's a very funny show. We laughed a lot. I was talking to Jeff Anderson, who saw it the matinee that I saw it, and he was saying that he laughed out loud more at that show than anything he's seen.
Well, it's fun because it's different. It's always fun to see a different show.
Yes.
It's fun to see something that you haven't seen before.
That we haven't seen before, and they were so playful with the characters.
Yes.
The kid playing Batman was he kind of felt like the Batman Lego movie Batman.
Yes.
It was just a caricature of Batman. He had a fantastic Batman costume.
Yeah.
But he said, "I am Batman" a lot.
Well, that's the joke, right?
Yeah.
All of the Nolan Batmans, there's like the famous 3 lines or whatever. "I'm Batman, swear to me." He did it all.
Yeah.
God bless him. He did not. There was no Bane voice or whatever.
No.
We were missing Bane.
Yeah.
But it was already kind of an overstuffed show. We didn't need Bane to show up. The kids all had a strong sense of their characters, right? The Scooby-Doo gang, right? Were
very much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a Shaggy who would do the Scooby-Doo voice, and he was very funny. You could tell he enjoyed that. He had a good time with it.
Yeah, if you are a skinny white man, that's your destiny, to be a Shaggy type, right? That's your
grow the hair out and draw on the goatee.
yeah. That's your apotheosis.
We had some great characters in there. We had the Edwards twins. And we've seen, and I apologize to the Edwards twins if they're listening to this, but I know it's either Ansley or Addison has been doing this for several years.
I think it's Ansley. Okay. I believe she was the main girl in Radium Girls.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know they were twins.
I heard that from Pete. I was talking to Pete, and I was like, "You got 2 Edwards, and they look a lot alike." He says, "Yeah, they're identical twins."
Because when the one came on, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the girl from Radium Girls. I know her. She's very good." And then the other one came on. I went, "Wait a second. Okay, interesting. Oh, that makes sense for me. That's very good." It was directed by Pete Kapler.
Yeah,
right. Who was our friend? He was in 12th Night, And he used yes, and he was wonderful to be. He's very into Shakespeare. He's very, very smart.
He's a dramaturge.
Yes, and he was a big part of Full Circle Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so they put on a lot of shows here, and they were all very good. And they even did a Sherlock show before COVID, years and years ago.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I did not see the Sherlock show.
Oh, you missed out. It was very funny. Harville was Sherlock Holmes, and Pete was Watson. And the bit was that it was a satire. It was funny.
Okay.
That Sherlock had gone undercover but didn't tell Watson about it. So Watson thought he was solving the crime, but actually Sherlock was solving the crime. But like
undercover.
So he was like wearing
gotcha.
dresses, and he was like, "Get out of my way!"
Oh,
it was
funny.
very funny. Pete shot a dog. It was really, really funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shooting the dog's not funny, just in case anybody thinks we're.
It was satire. There was no actual dog. It's theater.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
So Too Many Murders had a whole bunch of detectives, and I do want to call it out in case you're going to go see this next weekend. It's a lot of fun. They started off with Sherlock Holmes, but then they also had Nancy Drew and both of the Hardy Boys, whose big thing through this is Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys do not solve murders.
No.
They solve things like a missing Matchbox car or something like that.
Well, I feel like the kind of like the neighborhood crimes they were talking about, that's more of like an Encyclopedia Brown type thing.
But it was also them too. There was never anybody who was injured or murdered.
The Hardy Boys went on adventures. I remember because I read those books when I was a kid. And they weren't solving murders. They were like something would be missing.
Yeah.
But they would drive motorcycles.
That's
and they
true.
were like in lighthouses.
They would be down in a cave spelunking.
I felt like that was more of like they should have been replaced by Encyclopedia Brown.
Oh,
Right.
that
Encyclopedia
would-
Brown did do like my sister misplaced her cup.
Yes.
Right, and like the bully has taken the cup. That's what Encyclopedia Brown solved.
Yes.
Yeah, there's actually a very funny movie about an Encyclopedia Brown type character and what happens when he grows up from a couple of years ago. I forget the name.
We're going to have to wait for that one to go in the
it was
public domain. We can do a ton with Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah.
So we had Hardy Boys, Sam Spade. We had the Mysteries. I thought it was Mysteries Incorporated.
It is Mystery Inc.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was okay. They called them the Mystery Crew. I don't know if they're trying to avoid Warner Brothers or something
There's
like that.
no way they licensed all of these characters.
No, but it was we had a Velma, Daphne, Fred, and Shaggy who were very funny. Batman was Jameson Maydall, who I thought killed it. There wasn't a lot you can do with that, but he did everything you could with Batman.
I'm Batman.
Miss Marple, when I saw it, it was an understudy. It was Kira Schofield. And then the two detectives, as we said, Addison Edwards and Caitlin Burnell, were also very, very strong.
Yeah, that's the bit that they were the actual detectives.
Yes.
Right, and they were kind of the through line for the show.
And this one did have multiple endings.
Yes,
It
did.
They did the multiple endings.
Yeah.
So they really, on this one, they tied together lots of different detective genres. If you're not familiar with them, you'll still get it. You don't have to know what they do. They're really hitting just the high points of detective fiction.
I will say that a lot of the humor is just, here's the character doing what the character is known for. Like Shaggy is wacky, Batman is Batman. But it does have a genuinely very clever twist right at the end.
Yeah.
Which I will not spoil because it's a new show, and I'm assuming most of you probably haven't seen it. But the final twist is genuinely very, very funny. I genuinely laughed at it. I thought, like, wow, that's actually really clever. It's really funny.
And if you're listening to this before Thanksgiving or, the week this comes out, you've got another weekend to go see this show.
Yeah, it opened this past week, and it runs 2 weekends. So you
That's
do have
right.
more opportunities.
So I think we're getting close to wrapping up. We've got some opening nights. Well, we've got one opening night this next week. We'll be going to Moses Lake High School to see their opening for Mamma Mia.
Love Mamma Mia.
That's a great show. We've seen it a couple times here in town. And I was in it when we did it for Music Theater. I do like that show.
I was also in it.
Oh, that's right.
I was a smaller character. I wasn't one of the dads.
You weren't a dad, but you were a major character.
I was
in that
in
one.
it. You called me a primary, but not a lead. No, I love Mamma Mia. I'm a big fan of it. I even love Mamma Mia too, even though I don't like Cher.
Was that an actual musical, or are you talking the movie?
It's a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's a musical. Is there a musical?
I don't,
Mamma Mia too?
I don't think
there
so.
is.
There could be sometime soon. Mamma Mia has been very successful.
Musicals generally don't have sequels, other than Phantom of the Opera.
That's the reason we don't.
Yeah, they were all like, no, we will not go down this road. Love never dies.
We don't want to repeat that.
Yes.
So next week this next week we'll go to the Mamma Mia opening night, and we'll be discussing that on the podcast next week. We'll also be discussing Lion King Jr. through Stage Kids. We'll talk about that next week as well.
Yeah, and so we do have shows coming up, and we don't need to go through all of them, but I did want to mention that you will be hosting Holiday Spice.
Yes.
Which is in December. And then after Holiday Spice, and this isn't still like an official event yet. I looked on the Numerica Pack page, and you can't buy tickets for anything, but it is coming up on December 19th. There will be Holiday Spicier.
Yes.
Which we have not talked about at all.
Well, we weren't quite sure when it was going to be. And I think the first I heard about it was auditions. They had auditions pretty quick, and the show, I believe, has been cast.
Okay.
And so
it's a happening thing.
It's a happening thing.
We just don't have the details.
I don't have the details. Holiday Spice is going to be the 4th and the 5th. And then most of the production crew from Holiday Spice will turn around immediately and start working on Holiday Spicier, which, if you're not familiar, I've done Holiday Spicier before. I think the first time that they did Holiday Spicier. And it's basically a variety show, but it's more adult.
Yeah, there's burlesque and some profanity and yada, yada. And it's late. The first show is at like 7:30, and the second one I think is at like 10.
Yes.
So it is 10 late? It's late for something to start.
It's late for something to start.
Yeah.
Holiday Spice will be in the auditorium seats, and they'll have a big band on stage. Holiday Spicier will have a rock band, and it will be in the black box setup on top of the stage. I'm assuming this is what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So, and they'll have a bar, and so people can be getting drinks during the show, and it's more of a cabaret style variety show.
Yeah, it's kind of looser, and it's not family oriented. I went 2 years ago. I didn't go last year. I couldn't find anybody to go with me. My age bracket is getting up there, and everybody was like, "We're not going out at 10.
Okay, so
we're
you
not
saw the
starting
one,
something."
You saw
at
the
10.
one I was in.
Yeah, when you sang the Jonathan Colton song.
Yes.
Yeah. I had not thought about Jonathan Colton in a decade and a half. Jonathan Colton was very big when I was in college. I actually saw him.
Really?
It was when I was in Seattle, and he performed at a book reading. He just had a guitar and he just strummed or whatever.
Super talented guy.
Yeah, and he wrote a lot of very funny like comedy songs. He wrote some serious songs too, but he was known for his like novelty songs.
Did you recognize that song?
Yes, I did. It like unlocked a memory cavern for me, a memory vault, because I had not thought about Jonathan Colton in like 15 years.
No.
But then you doing it, like it all came flooding back. Code Monkey.
Yeah.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah, Code Monkey was a great song.
No, it all came back as you were doing. It was a very weird moment for me.
Yeah.
I was drunk too. I mean, I was like, "Whoa, what is happening?" Jonathan Colton.
For those of you who don't know, go out and listen. There's a song called Chiron Beta Prime that Jonathan Colton wrote, and it's a Christmas song, but it's basically a guy writing a Christmas card out to his extended friends and family. But his family has been captured by the robot overlords, and they're working in a mine on an asteroid called Chiron Beta Prime over Christmas.
Whenever somebody calls me a human, like humans over here, I always feel like, are you an alien slave driver?
That's right.
Humans to the left. That's because I was raised with so much sci-fi or whatever. That's like my instinct. It's
yes.
I don't like it. I do not like being addressed as a human. It makes me think you're not one.
That's right.
That's why you're making the delineation.
Yeah. Yeah, no. For us lizard people, you don't want to be called a human.
No. But that's all coming up. There's a lot of theater in December. And it's very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We're going into the busy season.
We are going into the busy season.
We are in the busy season. We had 4 opening nights. Excuse me. We are in the busy season.
And so if you're listening to this, we've got a lot of theater coming up this next week. All of the shows we went to will be performing next weekend, except for Cascade High School, I believe.
Cascade High School was only one weekend. You missed it.
So go out there this week. We're going to be going to Mamma Mia at Moses Lake High School, hopefully on opening night. So go ahead, join us, join the opening night club, and enjoy another opening night.